Welcome back to the channel. This is the Action Figure Grader, and I received back from Collector Archive Services 2 items that just got graded, 2 baggies. And I also did pick up in the last Hake's auction, as I'm sure you guys remember during my coverage, I did pick up another Trilogo that I wanted to show you. And as it relates to those pickups, recent pickups, I wanted to at least show you what else is in my collection that kind of fits with it. I always try to do that when I have kind of unboxing or recent pickups video. And I've got a couple of baggies, 3 baggies for Darth Vader. So I did add a 4th from my Collector Archive Services order. And so the first one is the Clipper mailer box Darth Vader. This is an uncirculated 85. So somebody sent in this Clipper Benelux from Amsterdam mail away, and still sealed in the box, and AFA when they were still doing uncirculated grading. I don't know if they might still do it for mailers, I'm not sure, but so someone has sent in the sealed box, and this is what was inside the Clipper mailer box for Darth Vader. This is again an uncirculated 85. Box got a 90. The wrapper or W got an 85, and then figure 85. So it's a made in Macau baggie. Hopefully that'll come through. Sorry about the glare, but you can kind of see it there. Made in Macau. Made in Macau Darth Vader. And I've had this one in my collection for a very long time. And this one, let's see what this one is. This is an AFA 85 ESB-A baggie for Darth Vader, and one of these items is an ESB-A baggie. It's not for the Vader though, but that one we'll show in a second along with the other character that I just got. And this one, I don't know what this is. I have no idea. I picked this up on a whim a long time ago. What feels like a long time ago. Probably wasn't. Probably 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know. But this is labeled a Kenner Overstock baggie for Darth Vader. It says 1978. If I had to guess, this is some kind of, I don't know what this is, what baggie this is. It's labeled blank Overstock. So I don't know if that means it's the ESB-H baggie, but it doesn't have the same baggie style or size as ESB-H baggies. But anyway, it's got a 90, straight 90s, and it's got that deluxe case style from UKG. So anyway, I don't know what that baggie is. I have no idea. But here's the other one that just came back in. And this is an SWB baggie for Darth Vader. It got the 80 plus, and it's got made in Hong Kong on the baggie. A little bit of wrinkling going on, so not terribly surprised it got an 80 plus. But anyway, it's just kind of another baggie to add to my Darth Vader baggie collection. And I've had good luck this year. I usually say I'm going to get 12 or so baggies each year, and then I usually get like 5 or 6. This year, I think I've added 10. So it was a good year for baggies. This is definitely the last portion of items I'm getting this year. But, I've had a pretty good year for baggies. They've come down in price a lot, which helps a lot. So anyway, going back to this ESB-A Darth Vader baggie, AFA 85, here is what just came back in from CAS, and that's for Boba Fett. I found a Boba Fett baggie that was ungraded on eBay, and this one is an ESB-A baggie graded 80, and that's about what I expected. It wasn't perfect. It's not nearly as clear as the AFA 85 ESB-A for Vader, so I think because of the cloudiness, that probably held the grade back. The figure's pretty mint. I didn't really see much wrong with that, but anytime you can get a Boba Fett baggie for a reasonable price, I don't know if this was reasonable, but it was probably about fair. I think I paid $400 or $450, somewhere in that ballpark. But I never had a baggie for Boba Fett, so I just thought it'd be kind of a cool thing to add, and they look great together. So 2 ESB-A baggies, one for Vader and one for Boba Fett. So that was it was a very small order from Collector Archive Services, but I did get in the last Hake's auction. I just haven't had a chance to show it yet, but I did pick up an item, as you guys probably remember when I talked about the recent Hake's auction. But here it is. This is a really nice example, and I might have to raise the tripod here a little bit. And again, sorry about the glare. But this is a hybrid Trilogo for Snaggletooth. And it was at auction in the last Hake's auction, lot 242, I believe it was. And it was unpunched. It did have some kind of dings and things like that on the blister. But I kind of threw in a bid right as the auction was ending, and nobody else bid on it. And so it did win. And I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect to win it, but here's the grade on it. It's an AFA 80, Palitoy 70 back A. The card score was 80, blister 75, figure 85. They rounded it up to an 80. And there are no 85s or 80 pluses or anything else on the census. There's 7 Trilogo hybrid Snaggletooth 70 backs that are on the population report from AFA. And so they're all 80s with none higher. So this is one of the 7. And when I say hybrid Trilogo, it's because the front has the more typical Palitoy front with the multi-language in the top left and top right. The oversized blister that a lot of the Trilogos are known for. And then the back does have the actual Trilogo. So this is, a pretty cool item. And we've talked about this in my market updates. There are several, I think there's 6, don't quote me on that, characters that have hybrid Trilogos, with obviously Snaggletooth being one of them, the Cloud Car Pilot, the black and white Bespin Guards, Greedo, and Hammerhead, I think are the 6. But if there are others, you guys can comment below as you're leaving me a like. But I think those are the 6 that have these weird hybrid Trilogos, with the Cloud Car Pilot being the most expensive of the bunch. Those are very, very pricey. There was an AFA 75 that sold for the Cloud Car Pilot on eBay in an auction, I think by CIB or AFA, and it went for crazy money, like $2,800 or more. I don't remember the exact number, but it was a lot. But the interesting thing is about this one is that this one ended on Wednesday night, and then that following Sunday night, CIB did have one of these at auction. And so I was like, oh man, I overpaid for mine. I think all in with the buyer's premium and shipping and everything, I paid $478 for it. And there was, again, one ending 4 or 5 days later on eBay. It was also unpunched with no price sticker. It was also an AFA 80, but the blister was an 80 score. So this one was a 75. And this blister definitely is not as nice as the one that AFA CIB had at auction on eBay. But I paid $478, and the one on eBay sold for $830. So I was very happy with that. I was really shocked that it went that high, but I guess I shouldn't be with some of the prices that we've seen on eBay for a lot of Trilogos lately. AFA and CIB, they've just had a ton of awesome Trilogos over the last 6 months or so. But while I have this one out, I wanted to at least show you the other items that kind of match with this. And the only other red snags I've got is this one, which I believe I picked up this year or last year. I cannot remember. But, this is the one that has the markings on the foot. And this is an engineering pilot. So this is kind of a pre-production prototype type of thing for Snaggletooth. Not a first shot. First shots would, are earlier stage. The engineering pilots would be kind of testing out the equipment and making sure that the final production figure comes in as planned. And so typically with the engineering pilots, the EPs, they mark them on the bottom of the feet with one foot having a letter and one foot having a number. So pretty cool to have that one in the collection, graded AFA 80+. I picked this one up at Hake's as well. So that's his little twin. And then obviously I do have a blue Snags. Very nice example there. I picked this up ungraded from Chris W. over at Rogue 5 Toys, and it did get an 85+, as it should have, with Collector Archive Services. And it's a stunning condition. I mean, perfect, really. And not surprised at all that it got the 80+. The only defect was really that blue overspray right there or maybe it's like a silver paint rub on the boot there. So, that is really the only issue with this figure. It's really, and pretty much otherwise, pretty close to perfect condition. It's got one little tiny nick on the hand there, but no torso discoloration, beautiful boots. So that was a really nice example that Chris sold me many moons ago. And then what's interesting, the other interesting thing is that I now do have the Cantina creatures at least on one card too. So here is another Palitoy. This is not a hybrid, but this is probably the most common Palitoy of all the 45 back Palitoys. The Walrus Man on the 45 back C is certainly one of the more common ones. And this one got to the 85 from CAS. I've had this one in my collection for a while, but that's what the back of that one looks like versus the hybrid Trilogo that came out later. And you can kind of see the difference there, but I assume it came out later. You know, who knows? 70 back versus a 45 back, so I would assume it's later. So that's one. And then Greedo, I do have one carded. Well, I've got two carded Greedos. I've got an ESB also, but this one is a really cool one. This one is a 77 back A graded AFA 85, obviously yellowed blister, but this one is the Spanish made in Spain. So you can see there it's got that matte finish to the back, and at the bottom of the card it does say made in Spain. So that's another thing for these Cantina creatures. All four of them, they made for the US market 77, I guess, all 77 backs with Spanish PvP figures inside. So that is a pretty cool item there. And then the last one is just a Hammerhead, a nice unpunched example. This one is also a 77 back A, Hammerhead, unpunched. This one is not a made in Spain, so this one was made in Hong Kong. And you can see the difference in the color for the back of the typical standard US 77 back versus the 77 backs that were made in Spain. Obviously, the one on the left is the Hammerhead, made in Hong Kong. It's a brighter, more vibrant card, whereas the made in Spain is more in keeping with the made in Mexico Lily Letty's for the US market, where it's kind of a matte finish to it. So that's just kind of an interesting side note that I thought I would show since I had them both out here. But anyway, it's pretty cool now to have at least one carded example. I've got two for Greedo and then one for the other Cantina creatures for, you know, carded examples. I've got a bunch of loose graded for these three characters, but for Snaggletooth, I just got that EP. Anyway, that's really all I had for this video. I just thought I'd kind of show you some recent pickups and how they fit into my current collection. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks, as always, for watching, and I'll be back soon.